Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from TinaHills.com, and this is the Ascendant series, and Aries Ascendant to Virgo Ascendant will be in one video, and Libra to Pisces will be in the next video. So the first six Ascendant rising signs. So the Ascendant is the degree of the zodiac rising on the eastern side of the horizon at the moment of your birth. And I've already made an introduction video to this series where I explain in detail the rising and the first house. So kindly check that out. Now, getting to the rising signs, it's very interesting because the rising is what the world perceives you as. When you walk into a room, people notice not your sun sign, wait again, not your moon sign, but your rising. It is your it's everything. It's got everything to do with the self, with yourself. It is the way you look, it is your gestures, also your health, your overall constitution. So the rising is very, very important because it is the first point of touch that your soul makes with the 3D world. Okay, now Aries rising, this is cardinal. This is the first sign of the zodiac, so welcome. This is the beginning of the zodiacal wheel or the mandala. And Aries rising, you are ruled by Mars, and you are cardinal fire. When I think of Aries, I think of a matchstick. It is immediate, it is forceful. This is the archetype of the pioneer. So when you walk into a room and when you interact with people notice this Mars inside of you. And what is Mars? Mars is our action principle. It is what we want to take action on. It is competitiveness, it is strife, it is war, it's soldiers, it's the yang component within us, the masculine. The universal masculine is Mars. Okay, Mars is known as the lesser malefic, greater malefic is Saturn. So being ruled by Mars, your life is not going to be a bed of roses because you are here to be a warrior of sorts. Now, whether you feud about worthless things and while your time away, that is up to you. But as an Aries rising, you have been given this sort of torch, this mantle to bear forth and pioneer new things and go places and experience things that most cannot because they don't have that fearless Martian attitude. Okay, even the way the women of Aries rising look, squarish body, they are more masculine, tons of testosterone. So they need to do something physical because if they are not expending this tremendous amount of Martian energy that they've come with, then they are in a sense letting that fuel burn them up. Aries is agitating. So having an Aries rising, your physical body is Mars-like. Your attitude could be warring. You don't take no for an answer. You always want to prove your point. You always want to dominate the situation. Okay, you can get bored after that, but you want to dominate that situation. The way you look, okay, you have very chiseled features. Very sharp face, thin, sharp face. Even your physical body is not really, you can't be really fat. Okay, of course, unless there's, say, a Taurus moon there with a Cancer sun or something like that. But Aries rising people are extremely fit. And they can be not maybe as agile as a Gemini or a Virgo, but they are very, very fit. And they're very adventurous, of course, tons of testosterone and adrenaline. The Aries is very visionary. So this visionary side takes them to places that, most of us would not dare go. So this also makes them sort of an adrenaline junkie where they're constantly rushing after that high of, new experiences, conquering. With an Aries rising, when people perceive you through that Jungian mask of the ascendant, people see that you're here to conquer something and you want to conquer. There is this inherent need with Aries, very libidinal energy, very libidinal energy with an Aries rising. Okay, so this Martian energy needs to be utilized, and Mars cuts and burns. So imagine having your the helm of your natal chart being ruled by Mars. Okay, it can be very diabolical in a sense. Tragedy could always in some way, surround you. Okay, fires, be careful of fires, be careful of cuts and burns. Like I said, Mars cuts and burns. But you're definitely a go-getter. You're no, oh, throw me at the back and I'm gonna be okay. No, you're not. The thing with fire is it's not always easy to ground this fire that you've been born with, cardinal fire. Cardinal always wants to start something new, the cardinal energy. So having this Aries rising, you're always looking at new outlets to expend this conquering impulse of Mars. Sometimes it can be the poison, sometimes it can be the medicine. And sometimes the medicine is the poison and the poison is the medicine. So ultimately, there is a component. Mars also deals with poisons. So ultimately, there is a side of you that wants to be validated for this very trend setting, archetypal trendsetters is what I think of Aries. Okay, archetypal trendsetters. The way you dress is not going to be, say, couture like a Taurus, but you like good things. And Aries rules the face and the head and the brains. So you want to accentuate this part of your body, and you want to, you have that deep penetrating Martian eyes. Maybe not like fixed water of Scorpio, but you have that penetrating look in the eyes. There's something about Aries that can be that can come across as daunting to other people, because this is an energy that has come as the beginning of the zodiac. Okay, so there's a selfishness to this, because this is the infant of the zodiac, and infants understand self-preservation. So Aries rising, you're always going to have this understanding of how the world moves around you. Okay, and it's going to be about me. But the goal of this energy is to transmute that meanness and somehow, meet it out to the we-ness. Like Libra is your polarity. Libra is about us, we, the relationship, the partnership. But Aries is very much the individual. So having an Aries rising, you can be quite the lone wolf. You don't like to, you're not a pack of any herd. You're definitely not a follower. You want to rule, and not just that, in your terms. So that's something. Now Aries, Taurus is your second house of finance. This is a natural zodiac, so it's very nice. That way I love Aries rising, because everything is happening in the natural flow. The natural order is preserved. So Taurus becomes your second house of income. So immediately, this is a natural understanding of money that Taurus second house brings, unless of course Venus is challenged or something like that. Your third house is Gemini. So you're very quick with communication, and you can be quite humorous in the way you communicate, and you like jokes, but your jokes are never going to be about anything but what you feel, what shows you as a leader. You don't want to be the brunt of the joke. You want to throw the joke at someone, because Aries, you always have that forceful energy. Cancer is your fourth house, and siblings. Your mother was emotional. Okay, unless of course the moon is challenged, like say the moon is in Gemini or something, or the moon is conjunct Saturn. Moon is even conjunct Mars in the 6th or 8th or 12th, something like that. Okay, now again, Leo's your 5th house. So you are very passionately involved with your children, and the way you can sometimes be childlike with your children. You can be very creative. Like I said, with Aries rising, this is the order of the natural zodiacal mandala, or the wheel. So you are moving with the flow of things, and with your rising, you have brought forth spring. Okay, and so this is a very beautiful flow of energy if you know how to use Aries rising. Okay, and if you know how to interact and connect with Mars, it can be very, very powerful and very, very special. Now, moving on to your sixth house, again Virgo, your sixth house of health. So immediately, health in everyday work life. So you should be good with that too, because that's Virgo. And Virgo is awesome when it comes to health and when it comes to everyday habit patterns and the discipline. See, Aries rising starts new things that they cannot always conclude. Okay. Now, seventh is of course Libra, which is your polarity. So relationships, I guess you always want someone submissive, or somebody submissive just comes along because of the seventh house. You have to, of course, see the placement of Venus, but it's just that Aries rising, you have to be the dominant. Okay, and there's of course Mars is in Pisces and it's conjunct Saturn again. Overall, looking at it, brass root tax, right? Now, moving on to your eighth house is again natural Scorpio. We are going with the whole house system. So, each sign becomes a house. So, Scorpio becomes your eighth house. So, again, the placement, and that's also Martian. That is another sign ruled by Mars. So, Mars is going to tell you the story of your physical body and your rising, but it's also going to tell you the story of your eighth house, the inheritance that you can receive. Okay, or the way you'll die, also the eighth house, or the way, or other people's money, secrets, taxes, and all of this is the eighth house. Ninth house sad, so you're very good when you deal with foreign people. That is the Sagittarius energy, very fluid, very fluid with the ninth house. 10th is Cap, so this is the top, the pinnacle of your chart, which is the most visible part, your MC. So here you have a Capricorn and Saturn ruled, so you're meant to shine in the world, okay, because your 10th house is Capricorn, so you bring that structure into the way you're going to be recognized by the world, okay. Now, moving on to 11th is Aquarius. So, you're great with when you connect with large groups of people. You can be very innovative. 11th house is the house of blessing. It is a beautiful house. So, again, you have the natural zodiacal order in place. So, you're feeding off of that very well. And 12th is, of course, Pisces. So Aries rising, you're here to trailblaze, you're here to chart new pathways and, take us to places we don't think we can go. Now moving on to a Taurus rising. Taurus, this is fixed earth. This is the womb energy ruled by Venus. And this is a nocturnal sign. Moon is exalted in Taurus. So it's sort of got that fertile, emotional landscape as well. But Taurus is not very internal. It's more an external energy, because Venus ruled Taurus deals with banking and finances, arts, creativity, stuff like that. So Taurus is very beautiful. Having a rising in Taurus, people see that Venus walk in. I mean, even if you have a Venus in Virgo, which is traditionally Venus in her fall. But just having a Taurus rising, you're very beautiful in the classical sense, and you don't like cheap things. You like beautiful, expensive things because you understand that they last longer. You're just more practical that way. And this is archetype of the builder. So Taurus rising is always looking to build things, friendships, relationships, businesses, extra income, whatever, even in their community, okay, or maybe cook. There's an inherent connection of Taurus and food, because Venus rules the earth, Taurus rules the earth and the physical body. So you immediately understand that this is very much about sustenance and substance. Taurus rules the throat and the thyroid. Now the thing with Taurus rising people is that, you're not really skinny. Okay, even if you're really thin, you are weighty. Just your aura is very weighty, and Venus shines through the aura. So people are inherently attracted to the Taurus rising, and even men with Taurus rising I've seen have had tremendous amounts of people, like women, pursue them because they just are so appealing and so Venusian. Taurus rising, you're very tactile. You like the five senses, and you like to experience stuff through the five senses. So when you walk in, people immediately see the way you're dressed. Maybe classically, maybe, with beautiful branded clothes, or you like luxury and money, Taurus rising. This is not a sign that can do well with penury or poverty. You're a sign that needs money in the bank, nice clothes, nice accessories, nice things. It's just that energy when Venus wants your soul to experience the pleasures of life. But the key to this is, do not become enmeshed in matter, because there is a very spiritual vibration to Taurus also. Now, when people see you walk into a room, people notice that you are very beautiful, but you can come across as standoffish or snobby, because you are so beautiful and you have all these really beautiful clothes on, and you're very careful, and in your approach to dealing with people, you have a very measured approach. You're not all open. Oh, come on, let's just open your heart out. No, think of the bull, slow, steady. You have clear boundaries when it comes to how you deal with people. You're not open all at once. You're not an open book. Oh, come read me. Okay? Yeah, you can be simple. Taurus is very simple energy in a sense, because Venus is a very come as you are type of planet. Okay, there are no layers and sub layers of Venus. Yes, there can be of the feminine archetype when you really think about it. In traditional astrology, we have only Venus and the moon who are playing out the feminine archetypes. So every single feminine expression is becoming filtered through them, and everything else is masculine. Okay, except Mercury is a hermaphrodite, but everything else is masculine. So we experience the feminine expression. Of course, now we have the asteroids, but essentially it's Venus and the moon. So there are many things about Taurus and Venus that can be multi-layered, but Venus is pretty much like, okay, this is what it is, this is what I want, and this is what makes me happy. There's no mind trickery or real, mind games or mind control. Yes, Taurus can be very controlling, but they are not platonic. They're much simple. Venus is the less benefic. So there's always a blessing when it comes to a Taurus rising. No matter how difficult your Venus is, no matter how bad the times get, you will experience life through a blessing. This is feminine womb energy, Taurus. Now, the thing with Taurus is that, yes, you want substance. You're very, very into substance, and you have a criteria for selection. Like, you don't just want to, okay, this is what I go shopping and I just go and buy 10 bags. No, you are very methodical in the sense you'd rather buy that one purse or that one outfit that really works well. And even Taurus rising, many Taurus risings even rent clothes. Okay, because they understand that fast fashion is just not for them, and they like to take things slowly. So as a Taurus rising, you take things slowly in bed, when opening up to people, interacting with people, you just take things slowly. But if you fall into a relationship, you're not the one to usually break it off. You want to stick to it. Stick to it. Stick to it no matter what it costs you. Often to your own detriment. You're not very flexible. You can be very moody. That's why I guess the moon has her connection with Taurus. Taurus can be very moody. Throw in a Cancer sun with this Taurus rising. Oh my God, even Virgo with Taurus, even Cappy with Taurus can be very, very moody. Okay, now you like things, you like to buy things, and just make sure that you do not become addicted to shopping and you're such a shopaholic that you just ignore everything else, and all you want to do is spend money, because Venus also rules money. So people see that Venusian side of you enjoying life through the five senses. Your good clothes, maybe good perfume, very good makeup and stuff like that. And people are, like I told you, they're attracted to you. So Taurus rising, you are essentially, and you also like to beautify. Venus rules all things beauty. So makeup is a big thing with Taurus rising. Girls, I know that for sure. It's a big thing. They like it. Many Taurus risings can be in the beauty business as well, because that's an area. Banking as well. Okay, banking is something that you can really do. If you put on a lot of weight with the Taurus rising, it is not always easy to lose it, because as I said, this is fixed earth, and earth holds form. So it's not going to be like, quick, like an Aries rising who can lose weight, or Aquarius rising who can lose weight. This is fixed earth. So think about, and as I said, the Taurus, when they are moody, they can be prone to eating disorders, overeating, and Venus is all things sweet. So, overeating or emotional binge eating and all of that can become problematic, okay? The thing with Taurus rising is you do not like anything basic, okay? Like a Virgo. Virgo person is again earth, but mutable earth. So you're not as flexible as that. You have your criteria for standards. You have a certain criteria for standards, and you're not going to, budge. You don't like things cheap. Organic. Taurus rising people, they love organic stuff. All right. George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones is a Taurus rising. So, I mean, when you think of his plot line, pretty much food and sex. And Taurus can be very, as I said, because it's all about touch and feel. Taurus is very sensual, very pleasure oriented. Okay, your second house happens to be Gemini. So the way you can make money can be through writing or communication or any office work, okay? Gemini sits well with the second house, because now money is not something solid like gold and silver, but it's ones and zeros on your computer. So Geminis can be really great. Gemini second house can be really great for a Taurus rising person. Okay, and with Uranus now on Taurus, you can figure out the crypto thing completely, because you have Gemini second house. Okay, now moving on to your third house is Cancer. Okay, so your third house, having Cancer in the third house can be disruptive. Okay, because third house is more, more light things, more like communication, neighborhood. Fourth house is the foundation of your zodiacal wheel. So that is Cancer. But this could mean that you're very close to your siblings, or you're very close, emotionally attached to your neighborhood, or even a car. Okay, now Leo's your fourth house. You are in a sense, you as a patriarch, you're amazingly devoted and loving to your children. You will be, even if you don't like children in the conventional sense. Okay, you could work with children also. And fourth house essentially deals with family foundations. Okay, so your fifth house is Virgo. So you're creative. In your creative expression, you can be methodical. Like I said, makeup artists, or people who work in parlors. or salons and nails and all of that. You have that ability, Taurus rising, with that Virgo being in the fifth. And Libra is your sixth house of health. So Libra supports the erect posture of humanity. So any weight problems can see you, putting on tremendous amounts of weight, which can damage your spine, and your posture may be, in some way compromised because of that. Now, your seventh house, your polarity, Scorpio. So Scorpio and Taurus are very sensual, sexual signs. Okay, Scorpio ruled by Mars and Mars and Pluto, and Taurus ruled by Venus. So you see a direct head off over here, your seventh house. So your partner will always be secretive, very edgy. Scorpio on the seventh can be very edgy in your relationships. Not sugar and spice and all things nice. It can get very complicated. Now, seventh house Scorpio, eighth house Sagittarius. So, you could get an inheritance from somewhere foreign, or something that some foreigners may invest in you. Eighth house is other people's money. You may pay tax in a foreign country. Although Taurus is not very, very into travel per se. Now, Sagittarius being your eighth house, Capricorn's your ninth house. Okay, ninth house of travel, higher philosophy. So you're quite rigid, saturnine about the truths you adhere to. Okay, and Aquarius is your 10th house, or your midheaven. So in the 10th house is where you're most visible. So you're probably, with an Aquarius 10th house, you're probably an innovator of sorts. Even if it's, as I said, you're a makeup artist, the way you blend will be innovative. The way you do your eyes or lashes, or something about you in your profession is going to be very futuristic, very innovative. Okay, having 10th house Aquarius could also mean you work and make money through the internet. You're most seen online, on the internet. Maybe you're a YouTuber or a blogger or something. Okay. Now, your 11th house is Pisces. This is a very benefic house. It gives a blessing, the 11th house. I think this 11th house Pisces makes you very psychically connected to larger groups of people and friends. So like I said, internet work will be very beneficial for you. Because you have that 10th house Aquarius, which is, your your social recognition. And your 11th house is again larger communities. So you could be very visible online with this placement of Taurus rising. And your 12th house is Aries. Now when you have a fire sign in the 12th, it can be very problematic. Mars cuts and burns. So your unconscious could be very scarred, very affected, very hurt, very troubled. Okay, in a sense, because of the 12th house Aries. Now, having a Taurus rising is absolutely beautiful, but don't give up your slow and steady ways, because that is the way you achieve the most. Okay, think about the tortoise and the hare. Okay, the tortoise was slow and steady. Aries is the hare. It's off. But the tortoise is slow and steady, methodical, straight. Okay, and that is pretty much what Taurus is about. And you can be very greedy with the Taurus rising. It can be very greedy energy, and also stubborn as hell. Okay, very, very stubborn. Can be boring to a certain degree, because fixed earth can sometimes appear boring, right? I don't think so, because Taurus, you just have, or maybe excessive shopping or talking about shopping or something like that can be, like really bore people off. Rest, you're here to build, to grow, to experience, to touch, feel, taste, and make love to the 3D world. and I hope you enjoy it. So see you soon.